Imagine you're standing in the African savanna. An elephant walks past you. A rhinoceros grazes nearby. Giraffes tower over the landscape. Everything feels normal. Until you notice something strange. Why does Africa still have giant animals, while North America and Australia don't? Because not very long ago, North America had mammoths. Australia had giant kangaroos. South America had giant sloths larger than cars. Giant animals were everywhere. And then, they disappeared. Why? What changed? Most people think they know the answer. Climate. Africa is warm. America had ice ages. Case closed. Except, it isn't. Because mammoths survived ice ages. These animals survived droughts, climate shifts, natural disasters. They survived for hundreds of thousands of years. And then suddenly, many vanished. Something else happened. But what? To answer that question, we need to go back, way back, to one of the greatest journeys in human history. Humans evolved in Africa. For hundreds of thousands of years, that's where our story began. But humans are not restricted. We move, we explore, we migrate. Generation after generation, small groups began leaving Africa, into the Middle East, into Asia, into Europe, then Australia, and much later, the Americas. Today that sounds ordinary, but imagine what it looked like from the perspective of the animals. For millions of years, many of these animals had never seen a human. No tools, no fire, no hunting parties, no intelligent predator. Then suddenly, we arrived. Now imagine you're a giant animal living in North America, 15,000 years ago. Your ancestors knew every threat: wolves, bears, big cats. Nothing surprised them. Then a new predator appears. It's not the fastest, it's not the strongest. It doesn't have claws, it doesn't have fangs. Yet something feels different, very different. This predator hunts in groups. It communicates, it plans, it adapts, and most importantly, it learns. One generation learns something. The next generation starts from there. Knowledge accumulates. No other predator could do that. For perhaps the first time in history, many large animals faced a predator powered by something more dangerous than strength. It was knowledge. That predator was us. But wait, if humans were the problem, why does Africa still have elephants? Why does Africa still have rhinos? Why didn't they disappear too? This is where things get interesting. African animals didn't meet humans suddenly. They grew up with us. For hundreds of thousands of years. Humans became better hunters. Animals became better survivors. It was an arms race. The animals that feared humans survived. The animals that didn't get a second chance. Generation after generation, African wildlife adapted. But animals in Australia and the Americas faced a different reality. Humans arrived much later. In Australia, around 50,000 years ago. The Americas, only 15 to 20,000 years ago. In evolutionary terms, that's yesterday. Many large animals simply didn't have enough time to adapt. Evolution couldn't keep up. And according to the idea made famous by Jared Diamond, that helps explain why giant animals disappeared from some continents, while surviving on others. Now, scientists still debate the details. Was it hunting? Was it climate change? Most likely, both. But there is very little doubt about one thing. The arrival of humans changed ecosystems forever. And that leads to a much bigger question. Why should we care? Because this isn't really a story about animals. It's a story about civilization. When we study history, we usually focus on kings, empires, wars, technology. But long before any of those things existed, nature was already shaping the future. Think about two continents. One has animals that can eventually help humans farm, travel, transport goods, support larger populations. The other faces different constraints. At first, the difference is tiny, almost invisible. Over 10 years, it barely matters. Over 100 years, it matters a little. But over thousands of years, small advantages compound. Just like money compounds, just like technology compounds, just like knowledge compounds. And eventually, tiny differences become enormous ones. History wasn't shaped only by intelligence. Humans everywhere are remarkably similar. History was also shaped by geography, ecology, resources, and sometimes, plain luck. Who happened to live where, which animals survived, and which opportunities those animals created. So the next time you see an elephant crossing the African savanna, remember this. You're not just looking at an animal, you're looking at a survivor of a very long evolutionary story. And hidden inside that story is a lesson about civilization itself. History doesn't begin with empires. History begins much earlier, with geography, with ecosystems, with opportunity. And sometimes, the arrival of a single species can change the destiny of an entire continent. That species was us. And perhaps that's what history teaches us again and again. The biggest forces shaping our world are often the ones we fail to notice, until we step back and see the bigger picture.